Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we are discussing today? The persisting Indo-China border challenges. So what happened? Why are we discussing this? Recently, 18 hours of ordeal, harassment and threatening that was done to a woman who was traveling from Arunachal Pradesh to China has showcased the dark reality between what actually goes on with respect to your China in order to trying to maintain its so-called strategic composure and economic wolf warrior diplomacy that we see post your Chinese President Xi Jinping took office. First and foremost, like I mentioned, a woman who was detained for 18 hours by your Chinese officials have held that you are traveling to China with a Indian passport from Arunachal Pradesh, you have to apply for a Chinese passport. The woman has claimed that she had earlier also traveled to China, she didn't face any such issues. But now, this incident brings into your stark contrast of how your China is or how a possibility of peace, especially, is possible with this border conflicts and issue. What is the issue about your Arunachal Pradesh? And obviously, a woman in Arunachal Pradesh will carry an Indian passport because Arunachal Pradesh is India's. It is the territorial sovereignty. But what China views as is Arunachal Pradesh is claimed by China as Zhangnan or Southern Tibet. And they also tell that the passport is to be of your China. So they are trying to attack the civilians. Understanding? So first and foremost, see, with respect to your border linkages and with respect to people contacts, earlier, that is after your 2020 Galwan Valley clashes, the relationship between India and China were frozen. 2024, after your BRICS summit meeting of your Indian PM Narendra Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping, the relationship started becoming to thaw what was the difficulties there. In this, what happened? They said, okay, let's normalize relations. In the China's previous claim, that is after your 2024, was okay, after a 4-year hiatus of complete cold, they started telling, okay, border issues is separate, let people to people contact be going on. Now, this, when they have showcased itself, is a visualization of how your China views. Now, China tells that Arunachal Pradesh is part of its Tibet and refers to it as Zhangnan, and also it rejects Indian sovereignty. This has become very clear, especially in this fiasco. When this issue came to be known to your MEA, they issued a strong diplomatic demarcate telling that Arunachal Pradesh is integral part of India and you should not selectively pick Indian residents or Indian nationals and try to harass them, bully them, and Indian residents are entitled for Indian passports only. At the same point of time, it has asked China to have a non-discriminatory treatment towards Indian nationals, and also it has given a travel caution for Indian nationals to use their discretion while traveling. If you see with respect to your border issues, your China has attempted a military standoff near your LAC and tried to alter the status quo of LAC. What is India's response to that? We do not agree for your any contact with China until and unless your border tensions reduce. And for that, we have also started with respect to restriction on visas, restriction on your media exchanges, cultural ties, all of this has been put on a restriction. But again, post your 2024 BRICS summit, a phase of normalization kicked in with the meeting of your President Xi Jinping and Indian PM Narendra Modi. So in this period of time, what did they agree in the BRICS summit of Russia on the sidelines was let us agree on the patrolling agreements that Indian side was allowed to now resume patrolling around your LAC. Pasture grazing was agreed and continued upon, and also this particular period of time where China is known for is visually seen admitting that it did try to alter the status quo along LAC. Now what happened was, yes, now they tried to bring in that normalization phase. So they wanted to resume few things. So what were the few things that they resumed? Kailash Mansarovar Yatra was resumed, direct flight routes were resumed, and also your visa relaxation started, think tank exchanges began. And this comes at a very crucial point of time of 75th year of diplomacy between India and China. Now, with this Shanghai incident, this showcases the truth about how your China uses its economic leverage to strategic positioning of what it wants. Now, if you're someone who wants to know much more about your international relations, global events, how it affects India, then you have to subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy channel. Now, coming back to, see, China was the one that told earlier, right? That is in your 2024 period, it told that yes, we have to not mix border issues and people to people contact, connect. Now, that is the same China that went on a reverse mode, telling that no, this and this are connected. Now, when you ask Indian officials are telling that that is because of few overzealous Chinese officials this is happening. Understanding, see, it may be the reason, it may not be the reason, but what showcases here is that your China uses its wolf warrior diplomacy. It is no longer seeing its economic leverage and your strategic political leverage as a separate thing. It is mixing it as one. Anyway, I have to get my objectives met. That incident can also be seen with your Japan incident. Recently, the Japanese Prime Minister had warned about the Taiwan issue and how your China is aggressively going behind it. Just because of this, as to what happened within their particular parliament, your China ka wolf warrior diplomats went a step ahead and told your diplomatic threats were issued, and then dirty chicken snack, all those concept of name callings were done. They had even advised the Chinese nationals to stop traveling to Japan altogether. Almost it led to 5 lakh ticket cancellations. And they also put a strict ban on seafood import bans. Immediately, this led for your Japan to talk to your US. US came back and tried to broker, talking to your Japan, telling leave Taiwan out of the issue. So that much is the wolf warrior diplomacy aggression that is going now. Wherein they know if you agree to China's terms, you agree. If you don't agree, you will meet with economic consequences. This is outright boldly what they are claiming. So the US factor also, if you see, US also wants to sign badly the trade deal with China. For that, your US President Donald Trump has even been dangling the G2 grouping so that it gives that equal thing as to US and China are on the same level. This is symbolic power that was been not given to China by any other US presidents. Amidst this, US is largely trying to focus itself in the Western Hemisphere, which means now China is using this world for diplomacy and alongside its economic strength to carve out a niche for itself. If you see the economic dimensions, India, especially in Press Note 3, which is post your COVID 19, which is try to regulate your FDI investments into India. This was introduced after your 2020 standoff, wherein we regulate investments from land bordering countries, especially your China. And China's strategy has been simply visible to naked eye. It's not even bothering to wrap it up anymore. It uses economic coercion alongside your territorial claims, and it blurs the line between economic engagement and strategic pressure. So, how could this impact India? Trust deficit keeps on continuing, irrespective of the fact that we had a normalization phase. This still continues. The economic engagement has to look into all the security risks and the normalization and border stability that remains the same as it was. The brief period of normalization cannot be continued or considered as the normal. The new normal is yet to be defined. With this, we come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.